Hey everyone, 60 Grit here. We're going to do a review on, actually not really a review on this one, it's going to be an open box. Kind of check this out. There's an iPad Air 13-inch M2 Wi-Fi edition. Makes it also cellular. But before we get going, if you could, please click subscribe at the bottom. Click, click, click. I know I'm pointing at the iPad, but hey, if you could subscribe. Now, we'll just go and get into this, and I'll kind of talk about some of the differences on this. But again, this is a 256 gig iPad Air 13-inch M2. This is the Wi-Fi version. You can get this in cellular also. You are going to pay, though, about another $150 if you want cellular service. Keep in mind, you can always make your phone a hotspot, save the $20 that most carriers are going to charge you, and do it. But let's get into this and see. Now, this one is going to be the blue. So this will be the blue one, which they call blue. So yeah, let's see. And look at that. Box is a little beat up on that, but you know, hey, pick this one up at Best Buy. I don't work for Best Buy in any form or fashion. I do buy a lot of tech from Best Buy, and they will match Amazon prices. So if you see something on Amazon that is shipped and sold by Amazon, Best Buy will match your price. So Amazon had this for 6% off, which was like almost $100 off, not quite. And so they matched the price, and here we go. We got it. But in the box, you can get the lovely blue, as you can see. You can see the tint in it. Depending on the angle, shadow makes it look darker, but really it looks just like this color in real life. Then you're also going to get the charging devices. And then in here is the magical, lovely paperwork that we waste so many trees for nothing for, because everything should just be electronical at this point. There's no need to have any of this stuff. But they still like to do it. Why? It's a disclaimer. Tips. Check out the thing. There you go. Look at that. It goes. We're going to go in the buttons itself, but hey, here you go. It tells you right here in the paperwork. Boom, boom. We don't care. Why? Because we're smarter than this. Because we are the future. Or maybe it's part of the past. I don't know what you are. But hey, here we go. We'll put the box off to the side. Okay. All right, so this is the 13-inch version of the iPad Air. This thing comes in 4 colors. So you got purple, blue, stardust, and black. Big difference between this iPad Pro 13-inch M4 versus M2 is going to be the processor. Then it's going to be the screen itself, which this is going to have a liquid retina display. You're going to get an ultra retina XDR display. So if you go to the Apple store, you compare them. Depending on what you're doing, it may not really be that big of a difference for you. A lot of the other things are similar. The big difference about the Pro is you can get nano texture base. I did a review on a Pro iPad Pro next year. So that's going to be, to me, it's not really worth the money you're going to spend, because you got to buy a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte. This thing has an M2, 8-core, 9-core GPU, 16-core neutral engine. Camera on this and camera on the iPad Pro is actually going to be very similar. So the iPad Pro has a 12 megapixel, that's this right here, wide camera. This is a 12 megapixel wide camera. The iPad Pro is going to have a 4K video, Pro resolution, or ProRes is what they call it. This is just to have 4K video. Landscape wise, you're looking at the same ultra wide. So this is a landscape 12 megapixel ultra wide front camera. It's identically the same thing that's going to be on your iPad Pro. And then the iPad Pro is going to have a true depth camera system. I've taken a lot of pictures with the Pro. I'll be honest, I was not impressed in any form or fashion. This is your USB-C that comes on the iPad Air. On the Pro, you're going to have a USB-C connector with support for a Thunderbolt USB 4. So that's going to be the variation on this piece. This is going to have a fingerprint reader up here at the top, right here on this button. Why the iPad Pro is going to be Face ID. I actually like the fingerprint better than I do the Face ID myself, so this is definitely a plus in my mind. You got 4 speakers on. You have landscape speakers here, so speakers here. Nothing else on speaker wise. You're gonna have a 4-speaker audio quality speakers and microphone on the Pro. So that's gonna be the big difference. But this has 2 microphones and then your landscape speakers. These are gonna be your volume buttons, very similar to the Pro. This is your power button. As you can see, it's powered on, and that's it. That's all this thing has. You know, it's gonna have your 6E, same. So really what it boils down to is, what are you trying to do in this life that you're living right now, on whether you buy the iPad Air 13. It's a huge difference in price. When you start looking at the price between the two, the 13-inch iPad Air starts at $799. That's a 128 gig model. Then for the Wi-Fi version, and the iPad Pro 13-inch is going to start at $1299. So you're looking at a $500 difference. And I'll be honest, this thing is awesome for $500. Save $500. I will take the Liquid Retina display. It is an incredible display also. And, you know, it's hard to really tell when you go to the store like which one's better, because they put different screensavers on them back, and they put things that try to highlight to make it look. Now, the 13 does have a little bit better display. I will not dispute that anyways. The question is it enough for $500? My answer is no, but what is your answer? I don't know. Something for you to figure out along the lines. But when you get down to specs, like I said, camera's gonna be, you know, the iPad Pro does have a little bit better camera, but how many people are running around snapping pictures with one of these when you have a nice phone that's gonna be smaller and easier to take pictures? Camera, 12 megapixels, identically the same on the front. So if you're taking selfies or you're doing video calls for your work, you're gonna get the same type of technology from both of them. Wi-Fi is gonna be the same. They both have 5G. They both support Apple Pencil Pro. The keyboard is a little bit different. This is going to support the Magic Keyboard. So if you had the keyboard from last year or the year before, this thing's going to work. The only thing is it's going to have a smaller back camera lens, while the other one's has a square with multiple options back there. And the newer one's going to take the Magic Keyboard M4. Now, I got a Magic Keyboard Pro M4 here. I'm going to try to hook this thing up and see if it goes. If it does, I'll do another video on that. But right now, let's just assume it doesn't work. And like I said, $500 difference, but this comes in 128, 256, 512, and 1 terabyte. The iPad Pro is going to start at 256. So for $500 more, you're getting 128 gigs of memory. But this thing was $831 from Best Buy. They matched Amazon's price, so you're looking at $831 versus $1299. Again, that's $400 and a little under $70 difference. Huge numbers when we're talking about doing it. When you start looking at the height on this is going to be 11.04. I mean, we're talking about 0.05 of a difference on the height. The width is, we're talking about 0.02 difference. The depth, this is a 0.24. So this is going to be a little bit thicker. The iPad Pro is a little bit thinner. Weight, this does weigh a little bit more. So it comes in at 1.36 pounds versus 1.28 iPad Pro 13-inch. But again, this is not that much difference in between the two. So, and if you go Wi-Fi, it does not gain any weight to it. Again, this is gonna, you know, the brightness is gonna be a variation. So that's where the other display on the iPad Pro may beat you. This is gonna have, the resolution is gonna be close to being the same. Like this is liquid LED, this is an LED, the other one's OLED, it's a tandem OLED, so that's going to be a little bit better, no disputing that. The brightness on the iPad Pro will go brighter, so if you're always outside, that might be a reason why you actually want to go with the iPad Pro. But again, for what I'm using this for in use, some outside, on planes, this thing meets everything I need, and I keep $500 in my pocket to go do something else, which is awesome. They both come with an anti-reflective coating. This has a Y-Color P3, True Tone, you know, and it's fingerprint resistance coating on the screen. Again, all those are identical. The big difference between the iPad Pro 13-inch versus the iPad Air is gonna be the SDR brightness is 400 nits difference. The iPad Pro has an XDR brightness that goes up to 1,000, 1,600 peak, an HDR content only. And besides that, the other thing is you're going to have nanotechnology on the iPad Pro, and then you also get ProMotion technology. We won't get into what ProMotion technology is because we're trying to make this video short. And then you got, like I said, the big difference is going to be the processors. This is M2. versus M4. So if you're just doing a bunch of web surfing, you're doing writing notes, you're using it for college, you're using it for business, for meetings, taking notes, this thing's going to perform incredible for you, the iPad Air, and you're going to keep some money in your pocket. If you are doing something that's more intensive, that's going to be a little bit harder, then that's where the iPad Pro really comes into play and really helps you out. Battery life, up to 10 hours on both, up to 9 hours on surfing, USB-C charging on both. So when you start looking at the power and battery, they are identical going down the map. Or going down the spec sheet, I guess, not the map. And then the pencil support. This supports the Pencil Pro. It supports the pencil. Same as the iPad Air. Really, when it boils down to it, is you're really looking at brighter screen that has more clarity, and that's going to be to what suits your eye. So just because the screen's better does not mean somebody always sees that when they're actually viewing, and it depends what you're viewing. So if somebody says, hey, it's a better screen, you should buy it, really depends on your case. Everybody's case is specific and depends on what you're doing, because if you're just surfing the web, you're really not going to see too much of a difference. If you're using it for email and spreadsheets, it depends on what you're doing and whether you're going to really notice a huge difference. And again, go to the iPad store, go to Best Buy. You can play with these things side by side. You can see, do it. But again, this is going to be your iPad Air 13 in blue. So we're going to show it one more time. And, if you bought this or you bought the Pro, make your comments below. Let us know what you think. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry that this went through, but I did want to break down a little bit the difference between this versus the iPad Pro, so that if you're on the fence, don't know what to go for, and you need to save money, great alternative. Thanks for watching.